What's up, everybody? Sorry I'm a little late. Whew. How is everybody doing? All right. Making sure you guys can hear me. Perfect. Ooh. All right. Hey Nikisha. Hey SLJ. Hey Angel. Hey Rick. Hey Brooke. Hey Nathan. How are we doing today? Hey Meat Cub. Hope all is well. Sorry, I'm a little flustered. I was running a little bit late. Ugh. My whole setup is a mess currently. It's been a crazy weekend. Just to update you guys on Alberta's weather, it is currently snowing and it is 0 degrees. So, fall is already over for us. Alright, glad you guys can hear me. Yeah, I feel like not a lot happened, honestly. Even in my community tab post, I was like, it was interesting, I guess. But even then, I'm not sure it was that interesting. I feel like we talked a lot about the most interesting stuff that happened this week on Wednesday. I'm glad you like the music, Nikisha. Yeah, I always try to get like lo-fi vibes in the background. Because I always feel like it's kind of like, at least for me, it feels awkward when it's just quiet. And then like also, you know, there's people in my house. There's a dog that runs around upstairs. So, yeah. The music at least kind of turns it down a little bit. I will trade you my snow for your rain, Angel. I am not ready. Like, it just started snowing just a bit ago. Like, as in like a few minutes ago. But yeah, welcome to General Hospital Envy, everybody. My GH after show. You know, like, things happened on the show. It's just that it wasn't particularly interesting. We'll talk about all of it, obviously. And again, some of it we touched on Wednesday's stream, but we'll touch on it again a little bit this stream as well. This week, minutes after Sonny and Nina got married, Michael learned the identity of the person who turned his mother and Drew into the SEC, Nina, and immediately flew back to Port Charles with Willow and Wiley in tow, without telling them why. I really do not see what Willow sees in Michael. Truly. Like, I feel like he's kept her in the dark multiple times throughout their relationship, and he's doing it again, and she always gets mad at him, and then he does it again anyway, and she's just like okay with it. I don't understand. Mikabi said it will be back in the near 70s this week. Yeah, that's my camera, Nikisha. It's like a weird reflection that's happening. I don't know if I can get rid of it, but I don't think so. Because it's like, it's the reflection of the bulb, you know? Because like, if I wave my hand, you know, there you go, see? It's the bulb. Maybe if I like lower the camera, is that gonna make a difference? No, just... not really. It is what it is. Like, it's because I got my camera turned a slightly different way than usual. Maybe if I blend it in with my shirt. Yeah, sorry guys. But yeah, it's the camera. The whole secret is just going to be prolonged. That's how I feel too. Thought it meant I had an angel with me. I'd like to hope so, you know? Michael and Willow deserve each other. Sasha and Chase were just angst for them. Let Michael and Willow be boring together. Alright, you do that, Nikisha. We can say it's George. My beloved George Michael. May he rest. My poor baby boy. I still get sad, you guys. Alright, but let's continue. So Michael takes it upon himself to summon Martin Gray, Nina's go-between, to his office at Aurora, and he confronts him while mildly throwing his father's name around to get Martin to confess. And he does, and Michael secretly records it, and what he'll do with it is anyone's guess at this point. Personally, I'd want him to just bring it to Sunny, but GH won't make it that easy for us. You know they're going to prolong this as long as they can, because realistically, Michael found out on Monday what happened. And, like, I get wanting to get, like, absolute proof. Angel, my dog's name was George Michael. I was referring to my dog. Not that George Michael, the singer's death was any less tragic. But, you know, different death. I wasn't that beat up about the singer, you know? Also, I didn't name my dog George Michael. His previous owners did. We just had to roll with it. But anyway. Yeah, I mean, that's all I really have to say about Michael. So strange, Michael and Willow are step-siblings now. Yeah, I didn't even really think about that, but that's true. I feel like this is not the first time it's happened on GH either. Oh yeah, Luke and Tracy, and then Lulu and Dylan. And then Lulu and Dylan were kinda having a fling, but not really. Taiwan, I'm pretty sure it's not woke nonsense to just call a politician out for doing criminal things. But anyway, Christina and Blaze. Meanwhile, let's talk about Christina and Blaze. Back at Sunny's private island, where Christina decided to stay for some reason, Blaze somehow shows up to, again, Sunny's private island and just hangs out with Christina, I guess. Like they bond a little bit. I don't know if they're trying to, what do you call it? I don't know if they're trying necessarily to hint at a romance between them. I don't personally see the chemistry. Oh, I remember Angel. But yeah. Yeah, they did talk about that Blaze's grandmother works on the island. It just seems like such a ridiculous plot point to get her there. You know what I mean? It just, I don't know. It just seemed a bit ridiculous to me. But anyway, Blaze had just been offered the opportunity to be the new face of deception by Lucy. And will likely take it since Sasha is apparently leaving town, and you know, Christina congratulates her and they cheers and all that stuff. Chem test. Yeah, I just don't see the chemistry myself. I would love there to be chemistry. Like I'm not prone to Christina finally getting a relationship, but I don't see it. I just don't see it. All right. But speaking of Sasha, though, let's quickly touch base on her. So we talked about it a little bit on Wednesday. Sasha apparently is moving to Austin, Texas. Her things were packed. I can't even say I blame her. Cody was definitely shocked to see her want to go, but he also can't really blame her for the same reasons I can't blame her. Like, she went through absolute hell in Port Charles from the time that she got there till now. Like, it's just been back to back to back. I don't think we have official word that Sophia Matson's leaving. So I don't really want to assume that she will be making an exit until we hear some official word. Maybe I missed it. Let me know. But I haven't heard anything myself. But anyway, so Cody and Sasha spend their time taking the opportunity to kind of compare notes on the bad decisions that they've made since they've been in Port Charles. And Cody takes that opportunity to confess that Mac is his real father, and that he basically kept that a secret to try to profit off of Leopold, because Leopold had ties to the Ice Princess Diamond, and he was going to try and stake a claim since the diamond was thought to be destroyed due to the WSB's incompetence. Maxie also paid Sasha a visit because she didn't appreciate that they were already looking for a new face of deception without giving Sasha a heads up. And she wanted to tell her, but when Maxie found out Sasha was moving, she kept quiet. And so, having said that again, since we don't know for sure that Sophia is out at GH, I think that if Sasha sticks around town, she's gonna find out. And then it'll just be another betrayal and bad thing for her to experience in Port Charles. And I don't know how I feel about that either. Like, this girl can't win on this show. I don't understand, whether or not, like, why they just put her through so much. Why are they doing this? Let her have at least a bit of happiness. Like, hopefully, if this is what happens, Sasha will just completely understand and just be okay with it and just breathe and feel happy that she doesn't have to have that pressure on her, to just take a breather. Like, even if she doesn't move, like, take a vacation, girl. That's how I feel on that. Yeah, I don't know if she's really leaving Angel. Nikisha, you said Blaze seems like she likes Christina, but no vibe from Christina. Yeah, I can see, like, I don't know if I'm reading, like, Blaze is attracted to her, but Blaze definitely wants to be around her. You know what I mean? Brooklyn, you see more chemistry with Blaze and Dante? Yeah, I did too. Dylan could get it up for Lulu and Sage. But for Georgie, he needed pills to be with Georgie. Georgie deserved better. Yes, she did. She sure did. Sorry, Kaiwan, I don't know what you mean. But yeah, time will tell. In terms of, like, LGBTQ couples on GH, like, I'd love to see them. There's just not any. I don't know. I mean, we don't have any really gay characters on the show currently, aside from, Christina herself. What was his name? Oh my God, Sabrina's friend, Felix. Felix, he's on the show when the nurse's ball comes on, and that's about it. Why they don't utilize him more, I have no idea. Because he's such a likable character, in my opinion. And, like, I can totally see him, like, just unrelated to his sexuality, but I can see him kind of carrying the mantle for Epiphany and being, like, a no-nonsense type nurse. Like, personally, I would have liked to see Felix maybe take on the role of head nurse instead of Elizabeth. But also, I'm not completely mad at Elizabeth being head nurse either. Like, it makes sense. She's been a nurse for, like, decades at this point. Hey, Jacarius. I like what Trina said to Spencer the other day. We're going to talk about that soon, actually. Yeah, it feels like, I agree with you, Jacarius. It feels like they don't know what they're doing, what they want to do with Christina. And, like, it felt like that for Lexi. And now that they have Kate on as Christina, like, you would think that they were giving her more, but it's like she's just on screen and kind of just floating still, with a storyline that doesn't really matter to the show. So I don't know. It does feel like very, what's the point? You know what I mean? All right. What did I miss? What were we talking about? Oh yeah. Okay. Well. Yeah. We kind of finished talking about Sasha. Let's just touch base on Sunny and Nina again. They're doing their best to enjoy their honeymoon on the island, but it's short-lived because Carly calls and Sunny answers in a heartbeat. And Carly filled him in on what's been going on in Port Charles while he's away. And needless to say, he's pissed. And I'm willing to bet that he's headed right back to Port Charles because of what's been going on. So let's talk about what's been going on in Port Charles that Sunny kind of needed to know about. Ava, as you guys know, was being held captive by Mason under Cyrus's orders, and Cyrus was in prison at this point, but not now, because after a ridiculously quick hearing with Austin letting a judge know that he's too physically weak to be a physical threat to anyone, and the former warden saying that he's truly a changed man who has found God and has preached to the prisoners and inspired them to get their lives together. Don't know if I mentioned it in a previous live, but the warden, she quit because she got offered a much better job in Texas at a higher level as well, and was essentially leaving Cyrus in the dust, minus this one last favor, basically. And with that, Cyrus was released from prison. I love this shot of Cyrus leaving the prison, and you could just see palm trees in the background in Port Charles, New York. Like, you'd think that, I don't know, GH would at least try to not get palm trees in the shot as much as they possibly can. Hey, Albert. Good to see ya. Ooh, yeah, I miss Zeke. Yeah, it's kind of weird that Drew's lawyer is nowhere around. Maybe he'll make an appearance again soon, I hope. But yeah, let's, where was I? Okay, yeah, Cyrus. So yeah, he was released from prison, and that was enough for Cyrus to tell Mason to drive Ava back home, because he had her in a car kind of waiting after they left their sort of basement bunker, wherever that was. But yeah, thankfully, Dex, Joss, and Spinelli teamed up to try and track Ava down. And then Joss let Dante know as well. When Cyrus calls Mason to let Ava go, he decides to take matters into his own hands and tries to push her off a cliff, basically. Thankfully, Dex had shown up, and he and Mason struggled, and then Dante showed up and shot Mason, and Mason is now critically injured. And then, unfortunately for Dante, because this happened out in Pawtuck and not in Port Charles, Dante is under hot water for shooting a civilian while out of his jurisdiction. And he's been placed on administrative leave. I feel like Dante might lose his badge, you guys, not because of just this particular situation, but if you guys remember a few weeks ago, they kind of hinted that he might be investigated for being a crooked cop, biased to help Sunny, basically. And then add this onto it, like, it feels like they're kind of laying the groundwork for it. But what do you guys think? Maybe I'm reading too much into it. Replacement writers had to get rid of Zeke. I guess they had no story for Zeke before the strike, so maybe the other writers will bring him back in. Hard to say. It was fun to see Joss and Dex on a mini adventure that didn't involve sex. No kidding, because that's all we see them do. That is all we ever see them do. It was nice to see them doing other things. They made Dex look like a chump. It doesn't take much, though, honestly. Did they say how long the administrative leave? I don't think so. I don't think they did. Probably until the investigation's over, I would imagine, though. But yeah, anyway, Carly, she was at the hospital glued to Drew, of course, and then Cyrus shows up to check on him, but really, let's be honest, he was just there to gloat. Because Drew was about to be sent back to prison himself. And after Cyrus leaves, Carly gets a call from Joss, and she heads back to her place and learns about what happened to Ava. Dante and Dex had brought Ava over there because she wanted to see Avery, and Carly offers her, to stay the night at her place so that she could see Avery when Avery wakes up. Obviously, Ava didn't wake Avery up, and she just wants to be there for when she's awake. And that was very big of Carly. Props to her. Props to where I gotta give it for Carly. But yeah, so basically that's what Carly called Sonny about. She told him about Ava's kidnapping, how she's already been rescued, and that Cyrus was out of prison. And Sonny put 2 and 2 together pretty quickly that Cyrus was clearly Austin and Mason's boss the whole time. And yeah, he's probably pissed, and I honestly bet that he'll be back in Port Charles by Monday or Tuesday. Also, Portia found out that Cyrus was released from prison, and she was not happy about it. She scolds Jordan. She went straight to her, and just was mad that she didn't warn her. But Jordan didn't even know herself, so she kind of found out the information and shared it with Portia. Whenever I see Jordan pop in a scene to inquire with Dante, I still see her as the commissioner. Yeah, that's the thing. In that moment too, I actually forgot that she wasn't. Obviously Mac's not around right now because of what John's going through in his real life. So he can't be on screen to kind of have these scenes. And now that Laura is back in town, she no longer, I guess, well, this is where I get confused because she talks about how Laura's back, so she doesn't really need a deputy, but I feel like Laura's last deputy mayor was still deputy mayor while Laura was in town, so suddenly she can just go back to her job as police commish, because she's debating going back to that now. I don't know, it just doesn't make sense to me. Just give the job back to Drew, or not Drew, Mac. Sonny needs to get the same flight Blaze took. Yeah, he can be back in Port Charles in minutes. Yeah, that was crazy, how fast she went from the Metro Court to Puerto Rico. It was one scene to the next. I'm disappointed that the writers are making my girl Ava afraid of Mason instead of her being notorious. Yeah, she could have easily kicked Mason's ass. Crazy. Carly is a mama to her and Sonny's kids. It's true. Every time Portia gets upset with Curtis, she goes looking for Jordan to yell at her. Yeah, she's just Portia's punching bag. Charlotte. Yeah, we're gonna get to Charlotte soon too. Don't worry, guys. But yeah, let's quickly talk about Drew for a moment. Now obviously people don't want Drew back in Pentonville. Sonny had convinced Alexis to try and find out anything about the judge that preceded Drew's case, and Alexis found shady things that could easily get him disbarred, even criminally charged, and gives ample reason for him to go extra hard on cases, because he wants, power and he's being greedy, you know what I mean? He's just trying to work his way up the ladder. And then Alexis decides to lure the judge to an interview where she could eventually lower the boom and ask him the questions on what she found out. And she tries that, but handles it a little bit too passionately and probably overplayed her hand a little bit because he walked out halfway through. She probably should have saved the questions about the flights that he took out and, getting gifts from so-and-so for last. But it didn't work out that way, and she she was obviously just not happy about it. Personally, I don't really see the issue, because like if I were in her position, I would have just been like, I would have just held my phone and be like, I will call the courts now and bring the evidence to them, or you can go and release Drew now. That's what I would have done. Either way, she gets a call and learns that the judge has pulled Drew's file and is considering rethinking Drew's sentence. So it looks like Drew may be on his way out of Pentonville. He hasn't gone back in yet, I don't think, though, right? Like, someone came to be like, good time to get you out, but I don't know. We'll see where Monday picks up on that front. Nikisha, you said I want Drew back in Pentonville, but he'd have no one to interact with anymore, you know? Like, who's he going to talk to in there? Nobody. They'd have to have him off screen, but maybe that's the point. Well, no, the thing is that he was taking money when he's not supposed to accept money, because that's part of the job. Like, that's literally, like, in their contract. They can't take money from certain people as a gift. And he took basically a vacation, like a 19, whatever, how much money it cost, with someone that can get him up the ladder, no doubt. So that's what happened there. It's not like, you know, it's not ridiculous. It's just literally part of their job. Like, I don't know if you know much about government, but that's like a regular thing. Like, anyone, even like if you're working to like, what's like the simplest example I can give? Like, even if, okay, this is going to be the most ridiculous thing, but like, let's say there's a kid at a lemonade stand and a government official walks by and they offer them like a gift of a lemonade for free. Like, that's not allowed. Like, it's like, that's just a thing that's what comes with like being in the government. But anyway, like, they're just not allowed to accept gifts because it could be seen as bribes. And that's really what it was. You know, he's just trying to work his way up the ladder by accepting this money and stuff. So there's actual consequences for that guy if that were to get out. But anyway, take the key and lock Drew up for being an asshole. Let's see. It also looks like Drew may be rejecting Carly too, just in time for Cyrus to stick his fangs into the blonde witch. What are they going to do with Drew when Cameron gets to work on that movie? You know, they'll just get him, they'll have him get hurt or something and have to heal in the hospital. But to that end, like, the actors are still on strike, right? Am I not wrong? Like, that hasn't gotten lifted yet. If you work for taxpayers, you can't accept gifts from taxpayers. Exactly. Thank you for explaining it much better than I could, Nikisha. Yeah, we were told not to accept gifts from patients either in healthcare, like food money. Yeah, see, it's just like a regular thing that occurs in jobs, Kaiwan. Like, it is what it is. It's a rule in like the rule of governing. Like, they can't do it. Nothing woke about it, brother. But anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah, let's move on from Drew, guys. I'm over it. The actors are still on strike. Yeah, that's what I thought. So, like, they still, like, even though the writers can work again, and, you know, to that end, that's why we're getting, like, talk shows back and everything the last couple of weeks. Sorry, my phone went off. Okay, so okay, we'll quickly touch base on the rest of the quartermains. I feel like we covered everything on Wednesday, but just in case anyone missed what we talked about a little bit, I'll kind of summarize. We got all the right scenes with Lois thus far, in my opinion, Lois got to rip Eddie Mane a new one for not being the Eddie Mane that she knew. She got to confront Tracy and rip her a new one for using her granddaughter, to which Tracy argued she only did it so that she can give deception to her. And I said this on Wednesday, but I personally don't see Brooklyn wanting to do deception over music, especially now that she's taken on her first client. And since it's Tracy, there would be some kind of catch if she were to go back to deception. My guess is that should Brooke agree, which I don't think that she will, but should she agree, Brooklyn would obviously want to give deception back to Lucy and Maxie to make up for what she did in the first place. And I think that Tracy would definitely make sure that she couldn't give the company right back to Lucy and Maxie, just to stick it to Lucy, really. That's what I think would go down. But Tracy seems to think that Brooklyn would. Maybe because she knows that Brooklyn wants to make it up to Maxie and Lucy, and she can like trick her into owning the company, and just, I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. But anyway, we also got to see Lois meet Chase, and it was wholesome as hell. I loved it. She's really fond of him, and Tracy tried to gloat that it was thanks to her that they're back together and stuff, but Lois was like, whatever. I adore Lois though. I don't know how long she is here for, but I hope it's for a while. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing her back full time and working with Brooklyn. I think I said this on Wednesday's live stream too. I think that they together should revive L&B Records, and instead of Lois and Brenda, it can be Lois and Brooklyn. Hey! And then she'll have her mother's expertise in the music industry. She did make Eddie Mane, a household name for a little while. How long do we get to have Jane Elliott? Good question. I feel like she probably signed a year contract, but because Jane loves to work, I think that she's hoping it'll be open-ended. But we'll see. I mean, I would personally love Jane to be on for as long as she wants to. I think the reason why she even took this on is because she's wanted to work. Like, I feel like, yeah, she was down to retire, but I think that she loves the art of acting, and I think that as long as GH will have her, she's probably willing to stay until she gets bored of it again, obviously. Nikisha, you said I've been smiling at every scene with Lois. Me too. I freaking love Rena Sofer, you guys. I'm obsessed with her, and I'm obsessed with Lois's voice, and like, I just love that Brooklyn accent that she has, and she's just a light. She's just a joy to watch. She's just like the ultimate 90s throwback, and like, Lois really hasn't changed at all, so it's almost as if she's been frozen in time a little bit, which is kind of what the vibe is in like those kind of old Bensonhurst neighborhoods, because obviously we want people to grow and change in many ways, and I'm sure Lois has matured, but at the end of the day, she's gonna have her same personality. Yeah, acting is the greatest thing. I only acted in high school, but I would love to, and I've like acted on some skits that I've done on YouTube too, but like, I don't know. Memorizing lines is so hard, though. At least for me, I found it hard. But I guess the more that you do it, the better you get at it. And I only really did it in high school. And even then, I'd forget some of my lines. But yeah, like I said, I'm enjoying Lois, and I hope that we get to see her for a while longer. And if she's willing to stay, even better. L&B Records 2.0, I love that idea. Yeah, like, I think it's a great idea. They might as well make a mother-daughter music thing. It would be very on brand for Lois too. And I think that Amanda really acts really well off of Rena Sofer. I think that they do have good mother-daughter chemistry, and Lois definitely brings out the Brooklyn in Brooklyn. love my favorite girl Lois, and hopefully she'll stay on GH for a long period of time. Yeah, I really hope so. Okay, let's move on and talk about Spencer and Trina. I knew that Paradise wouldn't last long for those two, and they're already butting heads. What about Esme, of course, and also the fact that Spencer has no direction in his life beyond his little brother and Trina. But it seems like all of a sudden, years after knowing exactly, who Spencer was, that she now wants someone with some kind of career and goal in mind. And I think that probably has to do with kind of slowly getting the wheels turning on having Nicholas exit for when the actors stop striking as well. Because, we're kind of halfway there with the strike. Now it's just the actors that have to kind of come back. But yeah, she's also not thrilled that Spencer would rather not have Nicholas return after he informed her that Laura and Kevin found out he is alive and just avoiding everybody. Which I get because, Trina does want, let's be realistic. I think that whether this is selfish or not, Trina wants Ace's dad back so that she can have more time with Spencer, which I think is completely valid. Spencer is stepping up as to take on the dad role because he has no father figure, and he also wants to kind of keep Ace close because he doesn't fully trust Esme. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about this turn that they've taken with Trina. I get it from a behind the scenes point, but it just, because it's so out of nowhere, it bothers me a little bit. But I do appreciate that she does seem to have Esme's number. She knows that while Esme's not going to do anything directly to ruin their relationship because she is, in all sense of the word, changed, because she doesn't remember her past, she'd also be happy to have him all to herself. Esme, I mean. I think that Esme appreciates having a dad for Ace, and I also think that Spencer's hot and she can see that. Memories or not, she can see that, and of course she's gonna have a little crush and want to spend time with him. But I think that she is past the point of doing unbelievable things to break them apart. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're right, Kaiwan. Spencer really doesn't have, anything to sort of, I don't know. Yeah, he really doesn't have any career goals. He's just he wants to have his money and he wants to spend it on Trina and spoil Trina. And, there's no other sort of goal in life. And, I don't know. I don't think that you necessarily need a career path to follow directly. Do what you have a passion for, but I don't know. You don't have to be career oriented in life. I think that you just have to go after what you want in terms of your happiness. But, I think that she just hopes that, I think maybe if I want to give some details that we're not privy to within Trina's mindset, I think that she's probably just hoping that she's not Spencer's entire world. I think that she just wants him to have other passions and to explore them so that she can cheer him on the same way that he's cheering her on. That's the only way I can kind of twist it in my mind a little bit. Spencer's rich, he doesn't need a plan. That's where Trina's coming at a point of nonsense. And now he needs a plan after. Yeah, it is a bit wild that now all of a sudden it bothers her. And again, I get it from a behind the scenes thing, but I don't know. I if I were to twist it in a way that makes sense to me as Spencer and Trina in a way that would maybe fix this situation. That's what I would like to think. I would like to think that she just wants to see him thrive on something that she can cheer him on for the same way that he is for her. And that's how we can fix this mess. Angel, you said I don't blame Trina. I would have a problem too with this whole playing house with Esme. Spencer does need some direction in his life. Having his only focus be Trina and Ace is not healthy. Yeah, like, that makes sense to me too. Nathan, you said, as much as I understand where Trina is coming from, my fear is that the more Trina speaks out, the more Spencer will get pushed more into Esme. Despite everything, Spencer is still there for Trina. Yeah, but the one thing that they do make clear, though, is that Spencer clearly does not trust Esme at all. Like, I think he believes that she is a good mother to Ace, but there's always the lingering thought that she could get his memories back, or get her memories back, and, start to be vindictive, and then he'll want to go into protective mode and get Ace out of there. Kind of like keeping your enemies close. Good night, Albert. Thanks for joining in. Let's see. What are y'all saying? Nicholas was at least a philanthropist. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Nicholas did run like Castine Industries and had his hand in different charities and stuff. And he was on the board of the hospital. So like Nicholas, for all of his flaws that they've given him in the last 10 years, he did have like things to do besides being wealthy and like spending his money on like his selfish needs, like his girlfriend and taking her and wooing her and stuff. Like he'd do shit with his money. Appreciate you giving Trina the benefit of the doubt and trying to see her perspective. Well, I'm hoping, it's not that I think that that's truly her perspective, but it would make sense to me that would be her perspective based on what we know about Trina. Now, whether or not the writers decide to write her with consistency is up to the writers at this point, and really it's up to how long we have left with Nicholas as Spencer. So I don't know, it's up in the air. I hope that's what they'll go with, but it's not really a guarantee. It just makes sense to me that that's maybe Trina's mindset, if the show were to be actually thinking about what Trina's mindset would be in this situation. And hopefully I'm right, and hopefully they have her verbalize to him that, because I want them to make it. I love Sprina, okay? The writers don't write characters with as much nuance and depth as they used to. Nowadays, the characters are just there for storylines. The stories used to be written for their characters, yeah. Although, to that end, I feel like the Scab writers overall have done a good job at making these characters and the relationships that they have a bit more realistic, because they're like, I don't know, it seems, while we haven't seen like Scab writers' stories because the strike didn't go on that long, their every day-to-day scripts are far better than the regular like day-to-day writers' scripts were, and they made the characters seem more relatable, and they kind of had conversations about their feelings and their mindsets. And I think I actually seen someone talk about that on Soap Central, actually. But they're right. Like and I've also said it in multiple live streams that like the things that they're having characters do and say on screen in the day-to-day seems real, and I appreciate that. There seems to be a lot more heart. Do you lose mindset? Must be on better. Sorry, I don't understand. I wish we could keep all the Scabs. Me too. But I don't know how much feedback they listen to in terms of like, the fans. I don't know, because you can't really go on Twitter and be like, hey, I feel like you should maybe consider this because we appreciate this. And I don't know how many fans are going to say that because, I don't know. I feel like everyone's viewings of any TV show is vastly different from someone else's. You know what I mean? There's going to be things that people like, and there's going to be things that people don't like, and there's going to be people that don't watch and analyze every little thing as much as maybe I do, and like maybe some of us do. But as someone who like does review the show every week, and just as a viewer who's been watching since like 2004, I want to see the show thrive, and there's things about GH that I miss that aren't the same, but could be the same if like a little bit of effort was put in. And I'd like to hope that maybe the writers, the real writers, while they were on strike, were paying attention to how GH was doing, and maybe seeing how the characters were interacting while they were gone, and maybe taking some notes for themselves. It's hard to say. I hope that's the case, but I doubt it's the case. Seems like old times on the show, not just plot points. The temporary writers did great, but now we'll see the shift back into blah. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to the regular writers coming back. Although I do think that we're gonna finally see the writers address Bobby, and the only reason why that they couldn't is because she died literally a week before the strike. So they couldn't add that in as a story. But that will at least get addressed, I think. But just to finish off talking about Spencer and Trina and Esme, basically what happened was Spencer goes to the hospital and sees Esme's there with Ace. She's taking him to a doctor's appointment, and Spencer is pissed because, he wants to be there for every appointment. And Esme, for all intents and purposes, she is legally his only available parent right now. So she can do whatever she wants with Ace, whether Spencer likes it or not. Kevin was kind of there to play referee and pointed out that he technically doesn't have any parental rights. And Spencer has a very Cassadine-esque reaction to it, saying he's not going to accept it and will do whatever it takes until he basically does get parental rights. And, it's not realistic. It's not going to happen for Spencer. And to Esme's, I guess defense, she doesn't owe Spencer a thing. You know what I mean? I think that she's grateful that he stepped up as a father because, being a single mom as young as she is, with no memory, that's got to be hard for her to take on. And, basically, I just think she's going to get the swing of it, and the older that Ace gets, the less work he's going to be. And then she just won't need Spencer that much. Will she want him around? Maybe, because maybe she has a little bit of a crush on him. But, at the end of the day, Esme's not stupid. She knows that Spencer doesn't trust her. So, I can see her wanting to get out of that situation as well. Yeah, Trina and Kevin told Spencer the same thing. It's true. Esme only shunned Spencer because Spencer went to New York City with Trina. I don't know. I'm not convinced of that. I think that she genuinely saw an opening. I think that truthfully, an opening came for an appointment and she jumped on it quickly. And yeah, she could have called Spencer, but it was it seemed like it was a last minute thing, and I actually genuinely believe that. Not that I'm not saying that she wouldn't necessarily be salty that Spencer went to New York with Trina, but I think, I don't know, I'm not convinced that she's angry at the sight of them because of maybe some past lingering stuff. I think it's because, she was left to watch Ace on her own for the first time, and it was difficult for her because Laura and Kevin weren't there either. Alexis checked on her, but obviously when Spencer got back and Laura and Kevin got back, Esme was flustered and tired and exhausted, and she didn't know that Laura and Kevin were going to walk through the door either. That girl's jealous as hell. I don't know. I don't think she's, crazy jealous. I think, Spencer is hot and she has a bit of a crush, but, I don't think she's deliberately doing things to, I don't think that she did that appointment without Spencer to spite him. That's what I think. Is she jealous? Maybe a little, but I don't think that she's weaponizing Ace against him because she's mad at him and Trina spending time together. I don't know. I just don't see it. A little bit of brain damage, maybe. Who knows? Well, no, they would have spotted that though. Anyway, let's move on though. Let's talk about Laura. She goes to Valentine to find out why he had said Charlotte is in trouble, and he fills her in on what happened, but Laura doesn't think that she's responsible for burning Anna's place down. We already know that as the audience, but Laura and Valentine obviously don't. But she usually has good instincts, and she is right in this case, and she already realized that Victor probably got to Charlotte in some way, whereas that didn't even seem to cross Valentine's mind at all. And we know that it was Victor. So, anyway, later Charlotte shows up and Valentine gives her and Laura some time alone to talk. And Laura works her magic and just lets her know that she is a safe space to talk to about anything. Even opens up a little bit about her past as a child and how she was a lonely child and that her mother had always been there for her no matter what. Because Charlotte did talk about how she doesn't really have many friends and Valentine's always busy doing other things. Laura basically just lets Charlotte know that, hey, when I was a lonely child, I had my mother there for me, and in Lulu's absence, I want to extend the same courtesy to you, Charlotte. Charlotte didn't spill anything, obviously, but at least Laura gave her a window so that, if there's a moment that's noticed from Laura between Valentine and Charlotte, like there was in the last episode, then it'll give some wiggle room and maybe convince Charlotte to confess a little bit here and there. But I think in order for that to happen, I think she's going to have to be in a room with Charlotte and Anna and just observe how Charlotte treats Anna or looks at Anna and then confront her from there. Although I truly think it is absolutely ridiculous, truly ridiculous, that Valentine didn't even bother to confront Charlotte on what he already knows. And I don't know why Laura didn't at least, spill the beans to Charlotte. Charlotte's not a baby. Charlotte's in high school at this point. So, call her out. Be like, hey, we saw you on video breaking into Anna's room, and when we went in there, the room was destroyed. Why did you do it? Put her on the damn spot. For God's sakes. It's so ridiculous. Yeah, Laura didn't have any parents until she was, adopted into the... Well, not adopted, but, you know what I mean. Until she was brought back into Leslie's family. Who shot at Sunny and Anna, though? Honestly, I don't know. I'm just over that part. It was probably one of Cyrus's men. Valentine trying to protect his daughter. She could go to jail. I think he still doesn't want to believe it. Okay, but he can protect her and also confront her on it. Like, he can just not tell the authorities, but I feel like in order to get to the root of Charlotte's problem, he needs to confront her on it. Like, he doesn't have to tell anybody else. He can just confront Charlotte. You know what I mean? Protect his daughter by what? Acting like he doesn't know what happened? I think that he should let her know. So that he can, you know, like he's basically like bringing all this mystery onto himself when he could literally just confront her. Like, he's causing himself so much more stress, not like he's like trying to figure out why Charlotte hates Anna so much. But he's not doing the one thing that would at least answer the question, which is confront her and ask her. Like, it just seems so stupid to me, that's all. Charlotte, a little black widow. I mean, I always did call her a demon child, y'all. From the time that girl came on screen. Valentine and Nina raised Charlotte to act that way. And she's got that Cassadine blood in her. And Lulu was a bit of a terror when she was a teenager as well, let's be real. Like, not to the point of burning people's houses down. Not that she did it. I think, although, my one theory is that maybe she's using the tarot card to control Jake and got him to do it, to burn the house down. I don't know. It's not like he hasn't been brainwashed before. Alright, well those were all the kind of biggest plots on GH this week. But we did get some other things, like Curtis admitting that he's not ready to be intimate with Portia again due to his insecurities on what he can't do. We got Elizabeth and Finn planning their own weekend together, a la Sprina, although I doubt it'll be anything like Spencer and Trina's. But we did get a cute scene of Elizabeth talking to Audrey about him. Not that we heard her voice or anything. It would have been nice. But it's also just nice that they've acknowledged her. I mean, all the kids are too old to be constantly babysat by Audrey these days. So they got to include her in some way. Even though Audrey's actress, Rachel, is retired. And like in her 90s at this point, you guys. As much as I'd love to see her, like, she doesn't need to come back. She's paid her dues. She's been on GH since it was in black and white, y'all. Like, there are those parents that will never hold their children accountable, cover for them, help them lie. But see, like, it's not even about, like, holding Charlotte accountable, like, or, like, it's not even about, like, them covering up and lying, because they could still do that and still confront her. You know what I mean? That's the part that seems silly to me. Although, you're right, there are some parents that are just awful parents that will let their kids get away with so much dumb shit. What else? What other little things happened? Elizabeth, she also checked in with Drew to let him know how her boys were doing. Sometimes I forget that Drew and Liz were in a relationship because, you know, it was Billy that played Drew, and it was back when Drew was Jason and then Jake Doe. Sorry, come on, I don't understand. Oh, also, we got a little bit of Robert and Diane. She basically gave him a clean slate, and they're starting over. But of course, since Diane is a strong, independent woman, she did put him on notice and say that if another woman steps in, she's donezo with him. And then also, TJ let us know that Molly and himself and their surrogate are going to have their first ultrasound soon. I'm perfectly okay with this storyline happening off screen, because I'm sure if they kept her on screen, we would be like 10 mollies in by the time the baby is born. We also seen Felicia encouraging Maxie to try to work things out with Brooklyn again. We'll see if that happens. It's so funny. Earlier today, I was actually watching old General Hospital clips from like 2010 and 2011, and just seeing how vastly different Maxie was, and just all that fire and like the spiteful attitude and just like the no nonsense Maxie. I miss that Maxie so much. I don't know. Love Diane putting her foot down with Robert. Yeah, me too. I like those. I feel like they act really well off of each other, Tristan and Carolyn. And like I don't hate the idea of them in a romance either. I'm down for it. But yeah, I think that's all my notes, you guys. Mikab, you love Maxie and Brooklyn's friendship. Yeah, I love that they, because she used to hate Brooklyn like back in the day. And I'm glad that what happened with Bailey Lou really brought them close together. Even though, it was Brooklyn's ridiculous faking a pregnancy that kind of brought them together, but it worked in her favor to protect that baby from Peter for a long time. But yeah, overall, like a lot happened, I suppose, on GH, but it wasn't particularly interesting. Like, I don't know, plots didn't really get much further than they were a week ago. Like, it's like things happened Monday and it stayed there. But yeah, beyond that, I don't have much more to say. If you guys have any closing thoughts before I end the stream, let me know. Obviously, we'll be back this Wednesday. I don't know if we're going to react to anything, to be honest. I'm kind of just going with the flow these days for Wednesday streams. I don't mind the Wednesday stream being like a check-in for like what we think of GH thus far, without getting too in-depth with anything, but yeah, I don't know. It was lame this week. Good night, Brooklyn. Yeah, it wasn't great. Am I going to any cool Halloween parties? I don't think so. Montreal was party enough for me. Halloween falls on a Tuesday, and like I don't really want to waste my money going to a Halloween party or not. I'll probably dress up in a Halloween costume at work. Because we're allowed to do that at work. But yeah, I don't really have any Halloween plans, and I love Halloween. Like, my way to celebrate Halloween, honestly, these days, is like I don't need to go to a bar or a party to have fun on Halloween. I literally just watch all the spooky shit, all the horror movies, all the like classic Halloween cartoon specials. That is my vibe for like the entire month of September and October. Like as soon as September hits, I'm already like looking up Halloween stuff. So yeah, that's my vibe. I don't think I'm gonna party it up. Plus, like my other job that's not working in a mall involves me in the music scene and like going to shows. So like that in itself is like my partying, I guess, even though it's like also kind of working. And I am going to another show that's related to my work this weekend, so that's my only plan, really. Michael telling Willow or Sunny. I don't think he's going to tell either of them. Personally, I think if anything, he'll bring it to Nina first, and then probably try to force her hand in some way. Like, I don't know if that means if he'll like force her to break up with Sunny, or like force her to be less involved in Willow's life. I don't know. Is Halloween my favorite holiday? I like Halloween and Christmas equally, I think. Just for the festivities of, like, you know, in Halloween I watch like horror movies and like spooky shows and stuff, and classic Halloween cartoons. And then on Christmas time, like November onwards, I'm like all in on like the Christmas specials, the old like cartoon Christmas specials, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and all that good stuff, and just like taking in all the Christmas lights and all the decorations. And just like Halloween, I like going to see like Halloween decorations and Halloween haunted houses and stuff. So yeah. You're gonna watch Megan on Halloween? I don't know what I'm gonna actually watch on Halloween. It's a Tuesday, right? So I don't know. I'll find something to watch. Alright, y'all. But yeah, I'm going to end the stream here. Thanks so much for tuning in, you guys. I really appreciate it. If you liked this live stream, make sure you give it a big old thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to. I'd really appreciate it. And I will catch all of y'all on Wednesday. Peace out. Mwah. Bye.